sound a little choppy right there.
Does it sound choppy? You know what? It's just
Yeah.
going to. Unfortunately,
Okay.
there's something wrong with my upload speed. It's in the freaking toilet,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to upload something that I edited, and it's taken 15 hours so far.
Oh.
So it's going to, be a while. Thursday they're coming out to fix my upload stuff. It's crazy. My download 176 megabytes per second. That's rocking fast.
Hmm.
Upload yesterday I bested at 2.
Oh.
Yeah. So trouble, trouble, trouble. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Nuff Said Mighty. No, it's not even that. It's the Mighty Nuff Said, isn't it? Welcome to
Yes.
the Mighty Nuff Said. I'm going to get a nice clean one because we're going to have to put an intro on this. Anyone watching, you get this all the behind the scenes stuff. Welcome to the Mighty Nuff Said Reading Club. I am Rob Southgate. With me is
Phil Perich.
fill me in, Phil. We are talking about Iron Fist, the Living Weapon. Correct, right?
I think it's the Immortal Iron Fist.
Is it? Uh-oh,
Yes.
I may have read the wrong thing. Because I read
Oh.
Iron Fist, the Living Weapon from,
Okay.
what was it? When was this from? You know what? We're not prepared. We might want to start this over. Dang, man. 2014, is this the one you're doing?
That wasn't the one I was doing, but I've read that, so I mean we can do that.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start again, and we'll do Iron Fist, the Living Weapon. I didn't know we were doing the other one.
Okay.
You know what? Why don't you set us up to do when we at the end set us up, and we'll do the correct one. And I'll say that I read the wrong one, not knowing. We'll do the next one, the correct one next week. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Mighty Nuff Said Reading Club. I am Rob Southgate. With me is
Phil Perich.
still doesn't say fill me in, Perich. What a jamoke. This week we were supposed to do an Iron Fist book that Phil had picked, and I'm going to just lay it out on Front Street right here. I'm an idiot. I read the wrong series. Phil, what were we supposed to read?
We were supposed to read 2006's The Immortal Iron Fist, the first 6 issues, but you read Iron Fist, the Living Weapon from
Yes.
2014. Yes.
But you read this also, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to do Iron Fist, the Living Weapon this week. It was written and drawn by, boy, I hope I don't butcher this name, Kaare Kyle Andrews. Does that sound right?
Maybe.
Kaare or Care? I think it's Kaare.
I'm not sure the pronunciation, but yeah.
Anyway, this is the person. I read the first, let's see how many. I think I read the first 9 issues of this. I didn't know how far we had to go. I made it to, here we go. I made it to issue 10. So I did. I read the first 9 issues. It's funny because when you told me that the first 5 issues were a single story arc, I got to the end of 5 and I'm like, story arc's not done. What's going on here? So I should have probably taken that as a clue, but I didn't. This is the Iron Fist series from 2014. Phil, what do you think of this series?
I liked it. It was really good. I think it went 12. I think they ended it because I think that's when I think they ran it up to like Secret Wars or pretty close to Secret Wars. Because I believe the same writer, I can't remember if it's the same art team, but I believe the same writer is coming back with a new solo Iron Fist book soon.
Okay. Yeah, so it went 12 issues. So I was almost at the end and then decided, you know what, you said 5. I'm going to stop right here. I'm actually going to finish the series. I have never read Iron Fist where he wasn't teamed up with Power Man or, like I believe there was a Daredevil where he was in it. So he's one of those characters that I never really read his solo books. So for me, this was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I obviously I continued on with the series. I felt like I wanted to finish out this run. So it actually got me very excited for the Netflix series. I think that that's going to be really cool. And there's a lot of unexpected stuff in here.
Like what surprised you?
Well, first of all, his backstory I didn't know. I thought it was a really cool twist. And I don't know if this is the same for the other Iron Fists, if they've used the same arc. But the basic story, he's with his family. He's a little kid. His dad believes that, and I'm not even gonna attempt to butcher the names here. There's a mystical city that only appears, what is it, every 10 years. And it's where the Iron Fist is. It's where these guys are trained in this dojo and they become living weapons. And the ultimate fighter is the Iron Fist. And his dad, is obsessed with it. They're up in the Himalayas. He's got the family out there. They've got this guy with him, a guide. And his dad is so obsessed, he basically sacrifices the family to find it. Like the guy assisting him is saying, we can go back. This is our time. The mom is like, this is a perfect time to go back. We have a kid with us. Bad choices. And the dad is obsessed. He's kind of crazy. And he's like, no. And then an avalanche happens and that's it. Or at least that's what we're told. The kid watches his mom die. And he's basically freezing to death, and some monks find him from this mystical city. Now, that part of it, I knew some of that because, when you read the things where he's a side character, they'll allude to stuff. They'll talk about kind of his history. I knew that he was taken at a young age, put in this program when his parents died. I didn't know his father was the reason. That was a surprise. The other thing that was a surprise is how much mystical stuff is going on. This really kind of fits in the world with Doctor Strange, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, they kind of, when they team him up, they kind of bring him they make him more grounded. They kind of make him more like a street level, kung fu character. But yeah, that's the thing I like about his solo series, because even like the previous one, they get into the more mystical stuff, because they did do the whole family origin. The origins in the last series was about the same, but yeah, this series I like.
So is the dad
they went more in depth. They really didn't go too much like in the dad's personality in the last series, but yeah, that's what's good about this series. They go more in depth on the father, and
that's just it. He wasn't a jerk; he was obsessed. But later in the series, when he quote unquote comes back, and I haven't finished that out. I'm assuming I know what's going on, but. Yeah, I thought that was really fascinating. It was unexpected. It would be like if Bruce Wayne's dad suddenly showed up and you go, wait a minute, wasn't he shot in the alley? Then you find out that he's like obsessed with Bruce and he's going to take him out because he should be the Iron Fist. But then you don't know if it's actually him. And then there's all this like weird robotic stuff going on. And there's the this whole tension of the guy who was supposed to be the Iron Fist who failed the test. And to me, this was just really great drama. I was really into it. I also like that this guy, he is Bruce Wayne. He's super wealthy. He lost his parents. He's this great fighter. Yes, he's got a magic power because he's got that Iron Fist. So instead of gadgets, he's got that. But he's kind of a playboy turd, which is what Bruce Wayne plays it up as. And really, there's an argument that could be made that he still kind of is. This guy's more playboy than turd, but he is a playboy turd. So, and yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what did you think of the little girl? I forget what her name.
They kept calling her. Did they call her Kung Fu Girl?
Yeah.
Okay, is this a character that we're gonna get to know, or is it 12 and done? Because I thought this was a really great side story that kept going on where the girl kept chasing, like, we got to protect Kung Fu Girl, while at the same time Kung Fu Girl is kicking butt and she's like 9.
I believe she's coming back. Like I said, I think this writer is coming back with another Iron Fist solo series, so I'm pretty sure she's coming back.
I just really enjoyed this. And I mean, I probably sound like a broken record on these reading clubs where I do enjoy Marvel Comics. We're picking well right now, and even this was an inadvertent pick. We picked well. I'm really anxious to try the one that you recommended, but we'll get to that. What'd you think of this writer artist? Did you like his both writing and artwork?
At first I wasn't sure about the art, but then it grew on me. It was a different style for me, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but I'd say probably by at least 3 or 4 issues in, if not sooner, I was hooked on the art.
Yeah, the
And
art seemed a little sloppy-ish in the beginning. And I know that sounds like a criticism. It's really not. There is a style to that. It reminded me of like Paul Pope's art, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
And in fact, there were a couple of frames where I was like, wow, this looks like straight out of Paul Pope's handbook. But once again, not a criticism. That's a hell of a guy to emulate. And I don't know who came first. I'm imagining Paul Pope did. He seems like he's been in the game for a while doing this style. But like you, it grew on me for sure.
And yeah, and the story I think was really good just because he walked the line between, he took what came in the last series and used that as a foundation, but then he built something completely new on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I didn't read the last series, but to me, this seemed very organic. It seemed like an origin story that I wasn't bored by, mainly because I haven't read it before. But it also seemed like he was going in different directions. If he was telling the same story that we've heard him, that an Iron Fist fan has heard a million times, it sure didn't feel like it.
What he did is he gave us an original story, but it honored like all the Iron Fist stuff that came before it.
Sure.
So if you read all the other Iron Fist stuff, it feels like it fits right in. But like if you walk in for the first time, you're like, wow, this is a great story.
Yeah. Well, and that is how I felt. Like I said, I really dug what was going on here. I thought it was really cool. And it made me want to watch that Netflix series for sure. And I hope they get it right. I hope they get the fact that he's kind of a jerk. Although he's not. I mean, he comes from this entitled world. He lost his parents. I mean, there's a lot that you can forgive there. And really, most of his jerkiness comes out of the fact that he's known for being a living weapon. He has no private life. He is just trying to be what he perceives as normal, and it's not. So to me, that was. I hope they get that right. That was a really interesting take on a character, and vastly different to Luke Cage, who we've been watching on Netflix. And that was something that, having been somebody who's read Heroes for Hire and watched the two of them together, I kind of had that vibe. Like my memory serves that, yeah, he was more privileged and Luke Cage was more street level, but they fought bad guys together and it was like a good combination. Now, reading this, I'm really seeing how that can make a really exciting mix on the Defenders. I think it's a great character to put in the mix here, especially when people in the beginning thought Iron Fist, why are we using him? Yeah, I actually think, just like Jessica Jones, it's going to end up being a great character to use that's going to introduce a lot of people to a character that up till now has been a very C-level Marvel character.
I think it's just especially if they go with like something like this origin for the Netflix series, it'll be interesting because he has like the rich man's arrogance and stuff, but and most of these heroes, they do get their powers by accident, but I mean, he kind of had this lifestyle forced upon him by his, if his father hadn't have gone searching for the city, he wouldn't be there. He wouldn't have been stranded. He wouldn't have the being taken in by the mystical city and learn all this stuff. So,
do you think that they're going to get into the mystical? Because so far these Daredevil and Jessica Jones, they've only dealt with somewhat with the super abilities, but they've kept it very much gangs on the street. There were the ninjas. There was a hint of this on Daredevil. And then we did have, it's not mystical. We had like a science thing going on with Purple Man. This is mystical. Do you think we're going to get into the magic and the mystic here? Or do you think they're going to keep it more Heroes for Hire-ish?
I'm thinking this one, they might drop more of this might be on the Netflix stuff where they drop the bomb with all the mystical stuff, because this will be the first series after Doctor Strange comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that would make sense. You've got, if you parallel the Netflix series to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you've got the different types of characters going on here. It would make sense to bring the mystical in here, which also goes into the idea of in the future, they're going to do Punisher next, or, if you don't count the sequels, they're going to do Punisher. But we had a big conversation on Nuff Said about what we thought was going to go forward. And we were talking about things like Blade, like Ghost Rider, like even getting into Morbius and maybe going that route, getting into this horror mystical thing. It doesn't mean everything we see is that. It means that they have a couple of series that are like that. This might be the beginning of that, crossing that bridge.
Yeah, and I think they want to, they've been trying to give these things, even though all the characters so far on Netflix have been street level characters, they've been trying to give them their own flavor, their own vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, and Iron Fist can really set its own mold with mystical stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Now let's wrap this one up. You wanted me to read a different series. What was that?
2006's The Immortal Iron Fist. I know we agreed on the first 6 issues. That's the first arc.
Okay. I'm going to look it up here.
Okay.
And shall we do that next time, even though it's 2 Iron Fist back to back? Do you think we should do that one next?
Yeah, we could do that. I'll just whet your appetite and the audience's appetite. It starts with Hydra. You get some, for all you Netflix fans, there's a few scenes with Luke Cage and Misty Knight. And the big thing is there's more than one mystical city.
Oh, now is this Immortal Iron Fist? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Immortal Iron Fist.
Oh, 2006. I see it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm all about it. There are 27 issues total in this run. We'll commit to the first 5, but if I read beyond that, I read beyond that.
Okay. I think it's 6. I think the first arc is 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and this is Brubaker.
Yep.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I like these guys involved here. Fraction and Aja. This is a good series, man. I'm excited.
And it gets into there have been previous Iron Fists before Danny Rand too.
Well, you kind of got that in this too.
Yeah.
More than you kind of. You saw that he had to be tested to become the Iron Fist, and they talk about previous Iron Fists in it.
But they really get into like previous Iron Fists in this.
Sweet. All right, so we'll do that one next, and then I will pick something for the next one, but we'll keep everybody in suspense. A couple of quick things. We now have our own YouTube channel. Now, this is showing on the Southgate Media Group channel for now. Eventually, this live show is going to go to the Nuff Said Universe YouTube channel. Links will be in the show notes for that. We are starting to put all of the things from the Nuff Said feed on there, and we're going to develop it so that we have other stuff, backstage stuff, separate shows that aren't even on here, just like we're doing with our Patreon page. Nuff Said has a Patreon page. I'll put the links in the show notes here as well. If you want to support us, which we would really appreciate, follow us on Patreon. $1 a month, $5 a month. What? That's a cup of coffee. But you listen to these shows. You're getting 4 to 5 original shows a week. Plus, now we're going to do an extra show on Patreon, maybe 2, maybe 1 free, maybe 1 that you have to be a subscriber to hear. And same thing with YouTube. You're not going to have to pay to get them, but we might make one of those YouTube shows not public and put it only on our Patreon page. So there's a lot of stuff like that going on. We figure it's time that we're giving all this free fun out. We do a little bit extra. Maybe you can give us a little bit extra. That would be a cool thing. What else? Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Follow it, because that's the only Instagram I'm actively using is the Nuff Said one. And follow us on Pinterest, too. There's a Southgate Media Group Pinterest page, and we have a board for Nuff Said. My wife, who is all about Pinterest, she does the Pinheads podcast. Yesterday, she said, you know what? Nuff Said's getting big enough. Maybe you should give it its own Pinterest feed. We'll see. We're going to start out with just the board that we have up, but it's cool. Finding lots of cool artwork, lots of cool things to put up on there. And then, Phil, you do the all-new Marvel review, which has been pumping ahead. The new one went up today, and the video went streaming directly to our Nuff Said Universe YouTube channel.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's not on Southgate Media Group anymore.
Hmm.
And Super Connectivity is also there, and we've started adding new artwork and stuff for all that stuff. So it's just really cool. Anything you want to plug, Phil?
Well, you hit all the Marvel stuff. I also do DC stuff. I'm on the Legends of DC and Before the Bad podcasts. And Lilith and I review DC Comics on World's Finest. You can find that on Channel 52 podcast.
Yep. Got lots of channels going.
Yeah, and I'm on Twitter at Nightwing PDP.
And Phil, so that you don't feel neglected, well, really, so Lilith doesn't feel neglected over there in DC land, we will be doing the same thing with YouTube for a Legends of DC channel.
Nice.
So we've started putting those up on the Southgate Media Group page. That will be no more, hopefully by next week, and it will all be streaming right over to Legends of DC. And then you guys can start creating some original stuff there too, which is cool. I think that's it. Shall we be done?
I think so.
All right. So next week we're talking. I already forgot the name. Immortal Iron Fist. Okay, Immortal Iron Fist. Read it. Join in the conversation while we're live here. And we'll start tweeting out when we're going to be live. This has been kind of spur of the moment lately. We do have a chat room open, so get in there and talk to us. Join our Facebook page. Talk to us on Facebook at Nuff Said, and tell us what you think of these books. We will definitely respond and bring up what you have to say about it. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Nuff Said.
Nuff said.